Yo, what's going on, guys? It's J-Mass, and I'm back again with another dope New England adventure. Guys, I am really hyped for today's abandoned exploration because this is actually a site I've had requested by many people over the last year, and I've known about this spot for quite some time. I just haven't had a chance to get up here until today, and you guys are going to be joining me as I explore this abandoned spot for the very first time. Now, right off the bat, I just want to say it is an extremely windy day today, like extremely windy. You're going to be hearing really loud whipping noises throughout the whole video, and I apologize for that in advance, but it's inevitable. It's just such a windy day. So again, apologies for the loud volume and noises. But nonetheless, we are going to be checking out a really cool abandoned state hospital campus. Now, I'm currently in the city of Laconia, New Hampshire. If you don't know, Laconia is nestled in between two of the largest lakes in New Hampshire, Lake Winnipesaukee and Lake Winnisquam. And right between both of those lakes is Laconia. And here in Laconia, we're going to be checking out the Laconia State School, a former state school slash hospital for people with many mental and physical illnesses. Now, this place first opened up in 1903, then known as the New Hampshire School for Feebleminded Children. But by 1924, it eventually took the name Laconia State School, which is what it's best known as today. It operated for many, many decades, up until 1991, when this place officially closed down. I mean, by that time, people were having a change of heart and a change of mind when it came to mental well-being, mental illness. So in 1991, this place officially closed down. And most of the buildings are left behind. It's a pretty damn big campus. That being said, I don't know how much we're going to get into today. I'm going to try to get in as many buildings as possible, but I don't know what's open. I don't know what's closed. We're just going to walk around and see. But again, because of the wind, I'm going to try to be indoors as much as possible. But anyways, let's get started and check out the Laconia State School here in Laconia, New Hampshire, an abandoned spot I've always wanted to go to, just haven't been before. If you guys love checking out abandoned spots, urban exploration, and exploring New England, I'm always doing that on this channel. Or you can follow me on Instagram at @JMassOfficial. That's at @JMassOfficial. But let's just get right into it. Laconia State School opened in 1903, closed in 1991, here in Laconia, New Hampshire. Let's do it. So guys, before we start going into any of these buildings, I do just want to show you an overview of what the campus itself looks like. So most of the buildings on the Laconia State School campus look like this, these brick colonial style buildings, and there's quite a few of them. You got a large one right there, got another one right here. I mean, they're scattered all around the property. And the other thing is, some of these have names on the buildings, some don't. And through my research, I couldn't really discern what most of these buildings were exactly, you know, their names, what was done inside them. So when we explore, I'm going to be using just my best guessing, but I just want to be upfront. I don't know exactly what every single individual building was used for. I'll do some more research after the fact, but yeah, this is the Laconia State School campus. Pretty nice campus. It is a very windy and chilly late March day though, so not a lot of foliage out. And the other thing I want to draw your attention to is this section right here. I believe this is actually some sort of prison, or was a prison. There's a ton of barbed wire, razor wire, this huge tall fence. And that kind of leads into the next thing I want to say. This place was brutal. The Laconia State School was notorious for its brutality, its abuse, its mistreatment. So much so that the patients who actually went to this school were known as inmates. They weren't even referred to as patients, they were referred to as inmates. And keep in mind, it was called the Laconia State School. It's not like it was, you know, dedicated as a prison. They were still called inmates. This is really fucked up stuff. But yeah, it's really windy. I'm going to try to get indoors. I just want to show you guys a brief view of what the campus looks like. Not sure how many buildings there are exactly on this property, but we're going to try to see as much as we can. So guys, I think we're going to start over on this end of the Laconia State School campus and head inside this building right here. I don't see a name on the front, so I'm not sure what this building was called, but we're just going to head right in and see what's going on. I'm excited. All right, guys, we're inside of our very first building. Again, not entirely sure what this building was used for. Not sure what went on here, but it's part of the state school campus, so I assume there was probably some sort of re-education or mental treatment going on here. But yeah, place is crazy. Definitely looking like a lot of abandoned state hospitals and schools I've been to. Chipped paint, empty desks and chairs. Crazy stuff though. So yeah, as I kind of wander around, I'll just reiterate the history I was discussing earlier. To be honest, I don't know too much about the Laconia State School, specific detail-wise, but I know quite a bit about what went on here. So as I mentioned, it originally opened up in 1903. At that time, it was known as the New Hampshire School for Feeble-Minded Children. And if you don't know, feeble-minded is a really outdated term for basically people with mental deficiencies, mental handicaps. They used a lot of pretty offensive language, or what we consider offensive today. Back then, it was like a standard medical term, feeble-minded. So it was known as the New Hampshire School for Feeble-Minded Children. But by 1924, it was changed to Laconia State School, and that's what it's known as today. I just gotta say, this place is crazy. Look at this. Damn. A lot of these empty rooms right here. Oh, look at that. Rainbows and clouds painted it there. I don't know if that's graffiti or if that was part of it. So yeah, by 1924, the name was changed to Laconia State School, and it operated for many decades. It was actually at peak population capacity by the 1970s. That was its largest decade, the 1970s. But eventually, tides began to change in the United States, and people began to view mental illness and mental health much differently. I mean, when this place opened up in 1903, they were literally calling people feeble-minded. They were casting them to the side of society, treating them like shit. But by 1991, things were beginning to change, and this place closed down. And it's been closed ever since. But the most important thing to take away from the Laconia State School is the brutality that occurred here. This was not a happy place. This was not a good place. Tons of mistreatment and abuse occurred on this premises. One of the worst things about the Laconia State School is that they were an avid believer in eugenics, which is essentially, I don't know how to explain this. Eugenics is essentially killing people who you don't really believe fit your idyllic version of what a perfect human is. That's what it is. It's very outdated perspective to have, but this place believed in eugenics. It was just a very brutal, fucked up place. A lot of abuse, a lot of mistreatment. So as we waltz around these hallways and see what's going on, I'm gonna try to be pretty respectful. This is a place of suffering and mourning. And whenever I go to places like this, I do try to be pretty respectful. Look at that, that's kind of creepy. It's also pretty obvious that these rooms are probably just completely littered with asbestos and like hazardous material. So don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware of what I'm getting into. What is this? Oh, bathroom right there. Anyways, yeah, I always get people in the comments being like, don't you know how much asbestos are in those buildings? Yeah, I do. Trust me, I do. Not saying you should do it. You should absolutely not do this. You can just watch me do it. Anyways, yeah, so that's about it for the history. Now we're just going to kind of wander around, see what's going on. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know the Laconia State School is brutal. Okay, so this is some sort of bathroom right here. Interesting. Let's keep on walking around. All right, let's head up to the top floor now, see what's going on. Looks like we actually got a view outside. Let's take a glimpse. So yeah, again, this is the campus of the Laconia State School. Pretty cool. This is the building we're inside. Let's keep heading up. Damn, this place is just a waste. Look at all this paint chipping. Definitely a very old, dirty, and gross building. Actually, that right over there is the building I'm gonna try to get to next. I'm gonna try to check that one out next. Hopefully we can get in there. Okay, got another bathroom right here. Bathtub. Again, I'm not entirely sure what this building was used for, like this specific building. Not entirely sure what was going on in here. I don't know if this was like dormitories or if there was actual medical procedure going on in here. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments if you're more familiar with the Laconia State School than I am. I'd be curious to know what exactly was going on in this building. This is crazy, look at this. Damn. Oh, blue room right here. This room's just blue. Then I think this is the last room on this floor. This little bathroom right here. Wipe your ass. No. Love that. All right, let's head up here. I think this is the attic. Yeah, this is the attic right here. Crazy. Very top of the building. Interesting. Not too much going on here, but yeah, very cool to see. All right, I'm gonna head down. I think the last floor is the basement. Let's see what's going on there. All right, let's head up here. I don't think we went up this way. This is also upstairs, although I don't think we went on this side. I think it was actually closed when I was up there earlier. Oh, big room over there. Got another strange blue room. What are these blue rooms? Already saw one earlier. A ton of scrap wood in here. Strange. One thing I will say, I always mention in my videos how I love finding, you know, old documents and records. I don't think we're really gonna be finding any, to be honest. On this campus, this is obviously a really old campus, but I think everything's been like scrapped and gutted. So I don't really know how much we're gonna be finding of value or historical value, but see what we can find. Oh, look at that. That's kind of creepy. Weird little cardboard cutouts. I assume these are religious figures or something. Actually, not entirely sure. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Yeah, big ass room. Definitely has a very similar layout to what we saw earlier. Down below, I think. I'm also trying to be careful because there's a ton of graffiti in here, and I'm trying my best to avoid really offensive graffiti. I think I've already failed at that a couple times, unfortunately. For the record, I do not condone offensive graffiti. I think it's very childish and immature. Huh, cool. I think that's about it for the upper floor. I'm gonna head back down. I know I mentioned earlier, but we're gonna go to the basement. I think I'm gonna do that now. And then I think that does it for this specific building right here. But so far, really cool. This is a really interesting abandoned location. All right, now we're gonna go to the basement. This is the basement right here, the very bottom floor. And honestly, not too much in here. It's actually pretty empty and a lot smaller than I expected. I thought the basement would be way bigger. It's kind of creepy. This looks like some sort of children's room. Has all the numbers 1 through 10. I did mention when this first opened up in 1903, it was known as the New Hampshire School for Feebleminded Children. So as the name suggests, they specifically catered to young people, children. I don't know the exact age range, but they specifically catered to children. And I do believe that was one of the largest populations in the early days of the Laconia State School, kids. And there's really nothing that just gets my blood boiling more than the mistreatment of kids. Can't get in there. Which is what happened here at the Laconia State School quite a bit. The mistreatment of kids. And mentally deficient kids, nonetheless. So really heinous activities. Anyways, I think that's about it for this specific building. We got quite a bit more to see here. I'm gonna see what other buildings I can get into. So far, really interesting. Sorry, no clue what those are. Yeah, so far, really cool stuff. All right, so this is the next building I'm gonna try to get into, and this one does have a name, the Baker Building. So this right here is the Baker Building, right next door to the one we were just inside, this one here, which I did not see a name anywhere. But our next stop is the Baker Building. Again, not entirely sure what went down in this specific building, but let's check it out. All right, guys, we are now inside of the Baker Building, that building I just showed you a second ago. So far, pretty cool. Got a big sink right here. So I wonder if this was some sort of, like, kitchen area, maybe. Maybe this was some sort of kitchen. Not entirely sure, though. Huge rooms, though. God damn, these rooms are big. We're actually in the basement, I believe, so this is the very basement of the Baker Building, and if that's the case, then I gotta say, the basement here is a lot bigger than the previous building we were just in, because that basement was a lot smaller, or we just couldn't get into every single room, which I think the latter was probably the case. Oh, look at that. Bathroom with a really old school toilet. I don't know, I say old school, but type of toilet you don't see that often. Oh, got a water boiler right there. So we got another bathroom. Of course, you got a fresh bottle of spray paint. Someone was here not too long ago. And then check this out. I almost wonder if this was like a community bathroom. I mean, keep in mind, again, this was a state school with horrendous conditions. They obviously weren't giving everyone their own private bathroom, so shit. That was probably a community bathroom, like community bathtub. Another room right here with a fucking broken in half chair. That's strange. Okay, that goes upstairs, which we'll do at the end. I just want to check out the whole basement first. Let's go back over here. Let's finish checking out the basement. There's still a little bit more to see. So I mentioned that at the Laconia State School, there was a lot of abuse and mistreatment, and I was discussing how they supported eugenics. By the way, I did a horrendous job at explaining what eugenics was, so hopefully I would have included a text at the bottom. But basically, a lot of heinous and horrendous stuff occurred here to the patients, who again were known as inmates by the staff, not known as patients. But I want to tell you some of the stuff that happened here in YouTube-friendly terms. I mean, there was electroshock therapy, lobotomies, which, would essentially put people into a vegetative state against their will. The conditions here were so bad that people were literally living in their own excrement and urine, which is disgusting. I remember one thing I read that really blew my mind, and keep in mind, this hospital was running around the time of World War II. The conditions were so bad that a critic of this hospital literally compared it to a concentration camp, which probably a little bit hyperbolic, but still, just goes to show you how bad this place was. Oh shit, so we got our very first hospital remnants, a crutch, an abandoned crutch just sitting there. That's kind of haunting. And I think, and we got an abandoned wheelchair. Obviously this one's kind of scrapped, but an abandoned wheelchair and an abandoned crutch, which is, again, very haunting to see at this state school where I was literally just talking about the horrendous abuse that occurred here. Very haunting to see stuff like that littered around, because it just makes you think, what is the story? Who was using that? Really fucked up stuff. All right, that's about it for the basement. Let's head upstairs. All right, heading upstairs now. I believe this is the ground floor. I think. What is that? Propane jet torch. I was kind of hoping that would be something more specific to the state school. I guess not. We're probably not going to find a lot here, like I said earlier. Okay, anyways, I think this is the ground floor. Not 100% sure on that. But we're above the basement, so it should be. Weird, just a lot of random tools and utility equipment and stuff scattered around. There's definitely a lot more stuff here in the Baker Building, but it's nothing really of note. It's just like furniture, scrap wood, scrap metal. Nothing that's completely, taking my attention. Although this is actually, I stand corrected, look at this. Looks like some sort of electric piano or keyboard. That's kind of cool, actually. I stand corrected. That's really cool. Plus, we did see the crutch, so I guess there's that too. But this building definitely has the same layout as the other one we saw. I don't know if you guys can really tell that well, but experiencing this firsthand, it definitely has the same exact look, feel, and layout as the other building. There's just more stuff here. Like, this wasn't entirely gutted. The other one pretty much was. Another bathroom right there. A lot of toilets and sinks I'm seeing. I'm seeing so much destroyed porcelain in these buildings. Yeah, look at that. Crazy stuff. Why are you here? Well, I really like exploring historic abandoned buildings. It's kind of my hobby. All right, let's head upstairs now, see what's going on up here. And let's take another view outside, shall we? So here's another view of the campus outside. Cool. All right, let's keep heading up. And this is the upper floor of the Baker Building. Really wish I knew exactly what was going on in this building. It's just so much better when you're exploring an abandoned building and you're like, I know what was going on here. I know what they were doing. I kind of have a feeling that these buildings, these two buildings I just explored, were like patient dormitories. Like, I have a feeling patients lived here, considering just how many bathrooms we're finding, because we've been finding so many. Oh, actually, look at this. So we got some cubbies with names on them. This actually might be a bit of a giveaway. I don't know if these are patients or staff, but we got a lot of names here, like K. Johnson, J. Winslow, G. Stewart. Check that out. Wow, that's cool. Now that's a straight up remnant of the past. What is that? Town and Country Prince. Oh, fabric. That's for fabric. I was so confused. Yeah, another bathroom. Jeez. So many bathrooms. All right, this is kind of cool. So this is a completely empty building, empty room right here. We went into, in the other building that we were in earlier, we went into this room, but it was like filled with those little cubicle things, those little rooms. This one is just completely empty, nothing here. So this is what it looks like, empty with no cubicles, no walls, no furniture, just this massive empty room. Now let's see what's over here. All these fucking paint chips. Not even sure all the shit I'm breathing in right now. So this is kind of cool. They got a nice little door right here, and you can see the door leads to the roof. Interesting. I'm just gonna go right down here. Actually, you know what? We did miss the attic. Let's go check out the attic, and I'll see if I missed anything else, but I do think that might have been about it. All right, so this right here is the attic. Probably gonna look very similar to what we saw in the other building, but I still wanna check it out. Yep, this is the attic right here. Oh, Jesus. Almost impaled myself on that pole. Yeah, not too much up in here, just the attic, the very top floor of the Baker Building. Pretty cool, but you know, I did walk around. I think we pretty much saw everything, so I'm gonna exit this building in a second, but that was dope. I liked it. Hope you guys are digging this exploration so far. It's a pretty cool one. I've gotten a lot of requests for the Laconia State School, like I said. A lot of people over the last year have been telling me to come here, and I've known about it for a while. Just never really made it up here. No particular reason. But I like it so far. It's really interesting. So this building right here is actually where I filmed the introduction from. I filmed the introduction right in front of this building. Not entirely sure what the name of it is. I couldn't find a name on the front facade anywhere, but I'm gonna poke around a bit, see if I can find a way in, but we're gonna see if we can get into this one. But this is where I started the introduction from. And it definitely looks like one of the biggest buildings on the campus. All right, that was pretty easy. We made it in. So we're now in this big building. Again, no clue what it's called. No clue what exactly was going on in here. But we're gonna explore anyways. Pretty cool stuff though. It's interesting. It's an interesting place, Laconia State School. It's definitely not as like big or notorious as, say, Fernald or Lakeville or, you know, Mansfield. But it's still a really big abandoned campus. I know quite a lot of people, quite a lot of urbexers come here. It's pretty well known. Oh, check this out. This is crazy. So we've got a huge room right here, and this is the first thing I noticed. Look at that. A bunch of chairs facing this wall with turnaround. That's kind of creepy. You know, whenever I explore abandoned places alone, I'm honestly very confident. I'm overconfident to a fault. Rarely ever do I explore these places and feel like paranoid or creeped out. Very rare occasions, and right now I'm just chilling. But I can only imagine someone coming in here by themselves who's not as acquainted, sees this and is like, oh, I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? Because there's some like crazy shit in here. Yeah, massive room, goddamn. Also just a lot of utility rooms. That's the other thing I'm seeing everywhere. And because I think we're in the basement right now, I see a lot of these. Oh, actually this is an elevator. Stanley Elevator Co. So that must be the elevator shaft, maybe? I haven't really seen any abandoned elevators while I've been here. But I guess that makes sense. Oh, wow, right there. This is cool though, check this out. Suspension notice. This elevator fails to meet the standards established under the elevator law. Operation of this elevator is strictly prohibited. And you can see it's effective as of August 28th, 2006. So quite a while ago, 2006. And as I mentioned, this hospital officially closed down in 1991. So it was probably used for other stuff after the fact. But it looks like in 2006, the state of New Hampshire was like, hell no, you're not using that elevator anymore. And now it's just completely abandoned and neglected. That's cool though. All right, let's head over here. I think we missed a bunch of rooms on this side of the basement. I'm basically just trying to explore every floor, every room before I go up to the next one. It's kind of my MO right now. Okay, we went down there. Next up over here. I think this is actually the last room. Yeah, this is the last room. And then upstairs. So we'll head upstairs next. All right, now we're heading upstairs to the upper floors. See what we got going on. I will say it's strange because some spots of these buildings have like the windows completely open, letting in natural light. And then other sections are like this. All the windows are boarded up, completely dark and damp. So it's strange. Like this window is completely boarded up. So it's weird how some windows are open, some windows aren't. It's bizarre. But so far we're just getting a lot of empty rooms. Got a bathroom right here though. Oh, this is men, perfect. Yeah, abandoned bathroom. I've just kind of been skimming through all the bathrooms, just so many of them. I'm trying not to spend like 5 minutes per bathroom, you know what I mean? I feel like sometimes in some of my videos I can dwell on certain spots a little too long. So I'm trying to be a little speedy. Also just because I don't know how many buildings we're going to be getting to today. We might be getting to a lot, or this might be our last, no clue. Another massive room right here. Check this out, huge room. Let's see what this sign says. No admittance, employees only. So whatever this was for staff only. Ugh. Fucking leakage in there. I thought that was paper at first, but not sure. Okay, there's a lot of flooding and leakage in this room. Get out of here. It's gross. What the fuck am I walking in? Yeah, same elevator right there. That was shut down in 2006. Honestly, a lot of empty rooms on this floor. That was actually kind of quick. We just sped right through that. This is cool though, check this out. Little outside balcony area. I'm not gonna head out there, but that is cool. And that's actually the building we were in previously, the Baker Building right over there. All right, let's head up here next. Give you guys another view outside. So there's another view of the outside. And again, that right over there is the fenced off prison area, which we're definitely not getting in there today because it didn't seem like there was any way to get in there. I think we're only going to be getting into the buildings that just aren't fenced in. Ooh, another balcony. But yeah, a lot of empty rooms. I guess I'm just going to kind of speed through the empty rooms really quickly. Try not to dwell on them too much for the sake of time. Oh, Jesus, look at this room. A lot of water here. Definitely been quite a bit of flooding. I don't know if this is like been building up over time or if it's recent, because we did actually have a couple back-to-back rainstorms the last couple days. So I don't know if this is recent, but definitely looks like standing water, which is pretty gross. Oh, this is gross. Thank God I got boots on, because if I was wearing sneakers, I would not be going through that shit. All right, another bathroom right over there. Caution, look at this. Caution, wet floor. You don't fucking say. You don't say, buddy. I would maybe say instead of caution, wet floor, caution, lake. What did Lake Winnipesaukee and Lake Winnisquam build up in there or something? Oh, I thought that was some random stuff in there. A little closet. Another fold-up chair. Oh, this is kind of cool. Look at this. Another little closet area, but there's a lot of coat hangers left behind, a dresser. So I do think that this was probably patient dormitories. Patients probably lived here. Not too much though. And then that's actually a view out into the woods. And there's like a little building over there. I might try to check that one out next. I'm not sure what that is. Oh geez, more stairs. All right, let's head up there next. All right, we're gonna head up here in just a second, but a funny thing just happened. Another classic J-Mass moment occurred. Because the wind coming out of this window is so bad and so extreme right now, slammed this door shut. And you know, I've had that happen in so many videos where I'm like all alone in a bando exploring and then a door just slams shut. I'm like, what the fuck? Just happened off camera, so I didn't catch it on video, but there have been a couple times where I've caught that in video where I'm all alone in a bando exploring and the wind slams the door shut and I'm just like, what the fuck? Because for a split second you think, oh, I'm not alone, someone's in here. But now it's the wind. But that just happened off camera and I was like, bruh, wish I caught that on camera. I want to make a compilation of all the times that happened. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this building is kind of disgusting. Look at this. Just so much damp moss and water. It's just gross. This is honestly a very gross building, but especially this floor I'm on. Oh man, I'm on the upper floor. Actually, that's the crazy thing. I'm not even on the basement. You would think the basement would be the worst, but I'm on the upper floor. The upper floor is the worst. It's actually really gross up here, not gonna lie. Don't know how I feel about this. Oh, we actually got a bed. So this was definitely a dormitory, a patient dormitory. Got an old bed. And I just noticed an old clock right there, busted clock. So this is definitely a patient dormitory building. This is where patients stayed, or unfortunately, as they were known at the time, inmates. Really fucked up that they called patients inmates here. I mean, Jesus. That's a Laconia State School for you. Oh man, I don't know about this building. This is kind of gross. I think I'm gonna head back because we pretty much saw everything and most of these rooms are empty, but Jesus, this floor is just disgusting, dude. And I know I have waterproof boots on, so it's not getting into my shoes, but this is just disgusting. I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Okay guys, so I'm back outside. This right here was the building we were just in, exploring. But I kind of want to take a little detour and go up here next. I want to see what this weird building is up on this little road. Not exactly sure. It looks nothing like the rest of the buildings on the campus. So I'm going to head up here and check it out. The other thing I noticed too, and I'll try to get over to it shortly, but there's also a basketball court right over there. There's a fence here, so I can't cross it, but basketball court right there, kind of cool. All right, guys, so we're now officially inside of this building right here. I'll just give you a little taste of what it looks like. It's like a basically one floor, very flat and skinny building, but it's pretty damn big. But if I had to take a wild guess at what this place is, I would honestly say it's probably staff, offices. I think it's offices for staff. I definitely think staff were here and not patients. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the utilities and rooms here are just higher quality. I mean, let's be real, they were not giving the patients top quality amenities. So I do think this was either staff housing or staff offices. Again, that's a wild guess, could be completely wrong. There's a lot of random stuff just left behind here. A lot of desks and chairs. Again, more scrap. I'm not even sure what that is. Insulation, maybe? Weird. All right, let's keep on exploring, see what's going on over here. It did look like a pretty big building from the outside, so kind of curious to see what else is in here, but it looks like it's just a one-floor building. You know, there's no upper levels. It's just one single floor. So we're not going to be going on any stairwells, unless there's a basement, but I doubt that. Okay, you know what this could be? Check this out. This is like a receptionist area. Yeah, this is a receptionist area. So I do think it was offices, or it could be a pharmacy. Oh shit. Let's go this way first. Got another cleaning bucket. I don't know the proper name for that. Although that one doesn't say caution wet floor. Although this floor is pretty fucking gross. I do have to say the Laconia State School has definitely been one of the most disgusting abandoned hospitals I've walked through in terms of just debris and water damage and even asbestos. It's just a gross bando. I definitely feel very unclean walking through here. Definitely gonna be taking a shower the moment I get home. Okay, look at this. This is crazy. Got a bunch of mattresses and beds here. That's wild, actually. I've seen a couple beds, you know, in this this bando, but not to this extent. And these are actually not in bad condition. I think that's the craziest thing about these. These are not in horrible condition. Like theoretically, these could be reused. I wouldn't suggest it. I'm just saying they could be reused. Oh, weird. There's no door over there. I have to go back. What's that say? A dorm? Is this, or is that an I? A dorm? I don't know. You guys know what that says? I think that says a dorm. Like, is this a dorm room? Is that what that means? Or is it someone's initials like A and their last name's dorm? Or, oh wait, no, never mind. For a minute I was like, is that Adam? But there's a fucking R in there, so no, JMass. Oh, I see. G dorm. So these dorms are they all have letters. A dorm, G dorm. That makes sense, actually. That's what it's like to have an epiphany on camera. Yeah, I got some more beds and mattresses here. This one does not have a sign though, so I don't know what dorm this was. All right, let's head down this way now, see what's going on. All right, let's head in here next, this hallway. Probably gonna be seeing a lot of empty rooms, I assume. Another bathroom. It's kind of weird because the very first room we were in looked kind of promising, that there'd be a lot of stuff left behind. Some more beds. So many beds. All right, this is a D dorm. So you know how at the very beginning I said, oh, this was probably staff offices or maybe staff housing? Well, that was clearly incorrect because C dorm. That was clearly incorrect because this is most definitely patient housing. So definitely not meant for staff. It looked, I don't know why, it just looked better at the beginning. I really thought that it was a staff building, but no, I think this is for patients. So I stand corrected. Okay, yeah, E-dorm. So these are all just dorm rooms for patients. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. Another bathroom. You know, as I mentioned earlier, one of the most disgusting things that happened at the Laconia State School was that patients would literally be sitting in their own excrement. So it's kind of ironic to me that there are so many bathrooms in all these buildings I've been exploring when they still treat patients like fucking animals and have them sleep and bathe in their own excrement. It just goes to show you the absolute misery and cruelty these people face. It's disgusting. But I'm glad that as a society, we're moving away from this type of barbaric nature. That doesn't mean to say that this stuff doesn't go on anymore. It most certainly does. But I'm at least glad that we're moving past this. So shockingly, we've actually had a 100% success rate today at getting into buildings, which I didn't think would be the case, honestly. I thought a lot of these buildings would be inaccessible, but every single building I've gone to today, I've gone right inside, which is dope. Honestly, I'm really happy. There are a couple more on campus I want to try, but I think we are sort of nearing the end. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a really big campus, but I know for a fact I'm not going to get to every single building. There's a couple I know I definitely can't get into, and there's like maybe one or two I want to try to avoid. So I'm going to check a couple more, but I think we are sort of nearing the end, or I could be wrong. This video could be 3 hours long. I don't know. But I just wanted to say we're having good luck here. The Laconia State School here in Laconia, New Hampshire. We're having very good luck. We've gone into every single building we've wanted to get into so far. And it is really cool. It's a cool campus. You know, that's the one I was just in right over there. That's the previous brick building we were in. It's a cool place. There's a lot of cool stuff. And the other thing that's interesting that I've noticed, you know, if you're wondering about the grounds of this campus, I've seen so many people walking around, you know, walking their dogs. So it's not like what I'm doing right now is illegal. I've seen so many dog walkers and just people going on their own walks, you know, hiking. I think that these grounds are actually open to the public. I've seen so many people walking around, even I've seen some cars. So if you're not too fond of going into these buildings, you can at least wander around the campus and, you know, see them from the outside. Because like I said, I've seen a ton of people doing that. So kind of cool that they allow the grounds to be open for the general public to enjoy. That's really cool to me. All right, guys, I think I spoke a little too soon and jinxed myself there because this next building, the Keys building right here, tried to get in there and I could not find a way in. So this is our first L for the day. Could not get inside the Keys building, which is a bit of a shame. I really want to get in there. So far, this looks like the biggest building on the campus. So no way to get in, kind of a shame, but I'm just gonna keep wandering around a bit, see what we can find. And again, this is the crazy prison. Look at that. They still have all the razor wire and shit up. Again, I want to harp that this was not recently put up. This was there when the school was operating. So kind of fucked up to think about. Anyways, I'm going to wander around a little bit more, see what else I can find. But yeah, could not get into the Keys building. What a shame. All right, guys, so I just came down from here. We're going to a new part of the campus. And the next building we're going to be checking out is the Powell Building right here. Apologies for the sunlight. We're going to be checking out the Powell Building, and there is a way to get in here. I found an entrance, so we're going to be going in here next. But this looks like another relatively small building. I guess there is more than one floor here, but curious what this is because this looks very different from the other ones like these that we've been exploring so far. All right, this is very strange. Check out the Powell Building compared to every other building we've seen before. This one is like weirdly in a lot better condition, you know, a lot more pristine. But this right here is the Powell Building, completely abandoned. You got this massive abandoned room. Obviously there is graffiti and stuff, but seeing the pristine condition almost makes me think that maybe up until recently this was still in use. Strange. But yeah, let's look around. Let's see what's going on. Got some weird room in here. I don't know what this is. A lot of empty rooms. I think we're just gonna be seeing a lot of empty rooms here, to be honest. Not too much going on. Yeah, so all these are empty. But I am seeing a lot of signage in here compared to the others. Actually, what do these have? Powell, oh, look at this. You know how I was saying earlier they were known as inmates instead of patients? Well, there you go. Powell Building inmate sign-in month, May 09. So that means May 2009, which is a lot more recent than I expected. So the Laconia State School closed in 1991, but I'm wondering if maybe after 1991 they still had prisoners in here. That's weird. I don't know. Very strange, though. All right, let's keep on looking around. This is a strange room. I don't know why, but this, oh, what the fuck? This is such a weird room. Restricted area, maintenance personnel only. Should we go down here? This is such a weird building, the Powell Building. Oh, it's kind of wet, actually. All right, maybe I'll just peek around the corners. Jesus. Yeah, just utility. I don't feel like wading through water. But I was saying, yeah, the Powell Building, what a weird building. Like, compared to all the other buildings, like, let me frame it like this. All of the other abandoned buildings we've explored are basically par for the course when it comes to abandoned buildings in New England. So many of the abandoned hospitals and schools and stuff I've explored look like that, you know, chipped paint, tons of graffiti, dead bodies. But this is just different. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it. This building is just a lot more different. Training department and classroom, Civil Air Patrol. What the fuck? That is weird. So maybe this was a staff building or a prison. This might have been an abandoned prison. Male restrooms. Even this bathroom looks like pretty recent. I mean, you guys saw all the bathrooms in the other buildings we were in. They looked a lot older. This is like a relatively recent bathroom. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's J-Mass. This is weird. Weird stuff. Okay, maybe we'll go up there next. I kind of want to finish up this ground floor right here. All right, we're inside another massive empty room. This is that Civil Air Patrol room thing, whatever it was. But again, this is absolutely massive and completely empty. Just very strange. Something about this building is just way different than the others we've seen. Again, I can't really put my finger on it. I think it's the age. This one just doesn't seem as old. Bunch of random stuff in there. All right, that's mostly vandals. I wasn't sure if that was old stuff. That's mostly like, you know, graffiti artists and urban explorers. Yeah, another empty room. I think, honestly, now that I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the word inmates, I think these were like holding cells. All right, so here's my theory. I have a strong theory that after the Laconia State School closed in 1991, the Powell Building was still used. And I think they held legitimate inmates, like actual prisoners at that time. I did mention that the Laconia State School called patients inmates, but I think they probably legitimately had inmates here if this is after 1991. Because keep in mind, the Laconia State School literally closed because of the mistreatment and abuse. I feel like by 2009, they probably had different standards. And plus I'm seeing stuff like what did that say again? Civil Air Patrol Training Department. So I have a feeling this was some sort of staff building / prisoner building. I don't even know. It's weird. And there is a legitimate prison on this campus. So just weird. Okay, so now we're on the upper floor. Oh, there's another upper floor. Well, this building's a little bigger than I expected. Let's see what's in here. Damn. Tons of massive rooms, though. The Powell Building is full of these massive rooms. Some ironing boards, complete with a legitimate iron. That's really weird. An iron and some ironing boards. Strange. see what's down here. Poke over here. Oh, someone was shredding paper. This actually looks like a waiting room. I think this was a waiting room. Look at this. Yeah, I get the feeling this was some sort of waiting room. Maybe they had a reception area somewhere. Bathroom. All right, what are these? Committees. So these are all New Hampshire towns and cities. See Manchester, Nashua, Plymouth, Fremont. These are talking about like different committees. And these are different departments. Transportation, Public Works. I wonder what that's for. That's weird. Maybe they had different departments in this building. Like different, I don't know if they're talking about like New Hampshire state departments or if they're talking about Laconia city departments. Not really sure, but it had a bunch of different New Hampshire towns and cities. So I wonder if this was owned by the state at one point. Well, it was owned by the state, but for what purpose? You know what I mean? Weird ass machine right there. I don't know. This building is strange. All right, we're gonna keep poking around. And we were just in this room. This was that massive room I was talking about. Oh, what the fuck? Look at this. There's a doorway and it's just completely sealed off by like a wall. That's weird. And another utility room. CPO Foundation. Oh, what the fuck? That's about Alcatraz. You know what I think this is? Oh yeah, corrections professionals. So this was definitely a prison or a Department of Corrections at one point, because this is literally about corrections, correctional facilities, like some sort of magazine. What year is this from? 2008. So this is from 2008. We saw a sign from 2009. So I don't know off the top of my head, but when I get home and start editing this video, I'm gonna do some research on that, because I'm now thinking that this building was still operating well into the late 2000s, maybe even early 2010s, which is a lot more recent than I expected. I thought that the Laconia State School in all the buildings were way older, but this is pretty recent. Yeah, look at that. January 2009. January 2009, some cute penguins. That's very recent. That's not that old. And of course you got this. They had this at the Lakeville Hospital as well. Don't open dead inside. That's funny. Actually, the Lakeville Hospital did it better. All right. Huge room coming up right here though. Look at this massive room. So I have a feeling that this was probably staff offices. Yeah, this was definitely staff. Take freezer. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff scattered around as well. Crazy stuff. I'm gonna poke around for a second. Also, my phone's about to die. I'm gonna grab my portable charger. And then I think we're gonna take a look at some of these remnants that are left behind. I'm really excited about that. That's what I was really looking for while exploring this thing. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're back. So I kind of want to dig around a bit and see what's going on over here. There's so much stuff left behind, and I'm really happy. This definitely seems to be the holy grail of the Laconia State School. Rules of the Superior Court of the State of New Hampshire. And then there's a lot of stuff about prisoners. Prisoner means inmate. Promising victim-related practices and strategies in probation and parole. You know, I'm actually not entirely sure if I should be filming a lot of this on camera, because as I'm poking around and I'm seeing all this stuff about parole and prisoners and inmates, I have a feeling there could be some sensitive information, like legitimate prisoner and victim information. I don't want to put that on camera. So if I'm walking around looking at stuff and you see a random cut, I'm going to try to cut anything that just is too personal, essentially what I'm getting at. Oh, look at that. Tons of floppy disks. That's from 2003. 2003 floppy disk. Yeah, those are from 2003 as well. Actually, they're all from 2003. Probation and parole. So maybe this was a probation office, actually, now that I think about it. Because I'm seeing a ton of stuff about probation and parole. DOC, Department of Corrections. So this was definitely part of the prison complex. I don't think this was like the prison building. I mean, obviously you guys saw with all the razor wire and stuff, but I do think this Powell building was part of the Laconia State School prison complex. Absolutely. Do you need help? Yeah, that's kind of depressing. That's about, you know, physical abuse. I mean, obviously I'm not making light of any of this. This is very depressing and kind of concerning to see all this stuff just scattered around. What year is this? That's from 2009. Everything we're seeing is from 2009. Wow. So definitely not as old as I expected. Yeah, another 2009 right there. Crazy stuff. God damn. Was not expecting to find any of this here, to be honest. I thought everything at the Laconia State School would just be completely empty and gutted. I didn't think we'd find anything, if I'm being straight up with you guys. So this is fucking shocking to me. Mental health courts. Wow, this is crazy. I'm taken aback. I'm definitely going to be exploring this a lot off camera, by the way. Once I stop filming this, definitely going to be looking at all this off camera, because I really want to see what all this stuff is. I don't want to film like everything just in case. But this is fucking wild. I was not expecting this. I'm actually a little taken aback. Damn, just keeps on going. So much paper. Cool stuff, guys. God damn. Let's see what's back here. Just a little closet. Oh, and then you got a little time sheet thing, time card, time out, time back. July. That's probably, so everything we're seeing is 2009, 2009, 2009. So I don't think it takes a genius to figure that this place closed down in 2009, or maybe 2010, but I think this place closed down in 2009 or 2008. Basically what I'm saying is around that time frame, this Powell building definitely closed. Wow, fascinating. But I think that really about does it for the Powell building. I'll look around a bit more, but I don't think there were any other rooms. Actually, we do have one last room. I almost skipped this. Not much in here, but massive abandoned room right here. This was actually right next door to that probation office thing we were in. First thing I noticed, though, is that this was painted. Look at that. God bless America. Oh, say, can you see? Sorry. Got an empty room right here. Another, actually not empty at all. A lot of random shit in here. I was poking around a little bit off camera, just seeing some more stuff, and I didn't find anything super personal. So definitely they didn't leave anything super personal behind. Oh yeah, New Hampshire Department of Corrections. That is just crazy. I wasn't expecting that today. I thought we were only gonna be looking at the state school buildings. I didn't think we'd get into any like legitimate prison buildings. But anyways, I was saying, weird. Oh shit, look at that. Wow. That's a fucking, what's it called? I'm blanking on the word, but it's like when you go to a prison and they put your stuff in a bag. That's what that is. I'm completely blanking. I mean, I know it says personal property inventory, so I think that's when you're like getting searched. They put that in a bag. That's crazy though. Oh, this is so cool, dude. This is so fucking cool. But yeah, this is just another massive empty building, empty room. Not too much in here. Just a bunch of like desks and shit. There are some more pieces of paper scattered around. Some more timesheets. No date on that, but Pretty cool though. I'm really, really intrigued by this Powell Building. Honestly, this, I'm not gonna lie, Powell Building was the dark horse. I didn't think there'd be much in here. I went in not having high expectations, and I'm gonna be coming out completely blown away. The Powell Building is wild. That goes back down to where we were earlier. Was that another mural right there? I think I almost skipped that. Yeah, it looks like police officers. Wow. This is crazy, guys. Powell Building coming through. Didn't expect that. So this is kind of cool, guys. I don't know if I'm going to go into this section yet, like inside, but I did just want to show you out front from the exterior. But this is kind of cool. Look at this. So this is the plumbing and electrical shop right here. Got this huge brick smokestack. And then right past there is the prison of the Laconia State School. I mean, we were just in the Powell Building, which seemingly was parole officers, probation officers. This is a carpenter shop, paint shop. So I wonder if this is actually where like inmates and prisoners would, you know, do handiwork. I know a lot of prisons have stuff like that, like these handiwork shops. I don't know, maybe that's what it was for. Now it does look like there's a way in, but I don't think this is to the actual prison. We can take a look. This is kind of cool so far. Oh, maybe it does go in. Wasn't expecting that. Let's just take a look. Oh no, it doesn't. Never mind. So that's the prison over there. I was like, what? For a minute, I thought we were actually going to get in the prison. I was shocked because I looked around earlier. I did not see a way in here. This thing is completely armed to the teeth. So I didn't think there was any way to get in there. This doesn't even really go into this building. So I don't actually think we're going to be really going inside here, but we can peek around really quickly, see what's going on. But yeah, this looks like it's mostly just handiwork stuff. Plumbing, carpentry, painting. Probably just, again, to keep inmates occupied, to give them stuff to do. I don't know if this was actually like, you know, for the campus itself, like for maintenance. I think this was just to keep them occupied, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's just peer over here really quick. I don't think we're gonna get in over here. Yeah, no way to get in here. This is cool though. I did just want to show you guys this. I didn't really expect us to get any farther. I think that's really about it for the Laconia State School campus. I'm going to peek around a little bit more just in case, but I don't think we're going to be getting into any other buildings unless there are some glaring ones I'm missing. All right, guys, so I think that about does it for the Laconia State School campus and all the buildings. I walked around a bit more. I just couldn't find any other buildings I could actually get inside. Obviously, there is the massive prison complex behind me, but no way I'm getting in there. And honestly, even if I could, a little iffy about that, just considering like all the fencing and shit. But yeah, as for the open buildings, could not find anything else. I'm sure I'm probably gonna get comments from people who are way more familiar with this campus than I am, telling me about buildings I miss, and I'm sure I'm missing stuff. But anyways, I think we've been to quite a bit today, and I think that's about it for the Laconia State School buildings. Now, the last thing I wanna see, apparently there's a Laconia State School cemetery nearby. I'm pretty interested to see that. It's actually a bit of a drive away from the campus, so I'm gonna head over there, see if I can find anything. We'll check that cemetery out, and I think that'll be it for the video. So yeah, let's go find the cemetery. Okay guys, check this out. This right here is the Laconia State School Cemetery. So this sign might be kind of hard to read, but it states Chemung Cemetery at Laconia State School, 1903 to 1991. As I mentioned, 1903 to 1991 was the time frame the Laconia State School was open and operating. And this is the Chemung Cemetery, the Laconia State School Cemetery, where all the burials are. It's actually named for Chemung Road, this road right here. And the cemetery is located right off the road. It's a public cemetery, but supposedly most of the graves here are unmarked. Now I looked up online, and this cemetery opened in 1941. And there's approximately 170 burials here. Again, most of the burials, if not all of them, are unmarked. But I figured we could just walk around for a minute and see what there is. Curious about these though. Okay, this is bizarre. So there's a lot of burials here, like Ida Cross, died 1973. Joseph A. Vilux, died 1974. Dorothy Rainey, died 1975. So there's these memorial bricks with plaques on them, but they're in a giant pile, which is bizarre. I can't tell if this is like a memorial or if someone scattered them here. If it's the latter, that's kind of upsetting. Not really sure what's going on right here. But there's clearly a lot of memorial plaques. That's really bizarre. But this right here is supposedly the cemetery itself. Obviously, it's March, so there's snow on the ground. We're not going to be able to see exactly what's underneath the snow. But regardless, as I mentioned, a lot of these burials are unmarked. 170 burials at the Chemung Cemetery, aka the Laconia State School Cemetery. I am going to walk over to that cross, though, really briefly. I'm kind of curious if that's a grave or if that's just like a little monument. Let's check that out. But I do have to say, it's an absolutely gorgeous cemetery here. Oh, actually, I do see a couple graves. These ones are actually marked. Lila Frost, 1979 is when she died. Pauline Williams died 1982. Grace Green, 1983. So these are some of the marked graves right here. And one thing I noticed, actually up there, you can see someone left flowers. Let's check that out really briefly. Someone left flowers here. For Catherine Buxton. Born 1949, died 1971. Wow, R.I.P. And seriously, R.I.P. to everyone who's buried here. They all suffered, or I don't want to make judgments, but most of them likely suffered tremendously at the Laconia State School. And yeah, this is the Laconia State School Cemetery. Very depressing, to be honest. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. I've been J-Mass as always, and this has been another dope New England adventure. So today we checked out the abandoned Laconia State School in the city of Laconia, New Hampshire, and it was a really fascinating place. Again, I've known about it for quite some time, but I've gotten a lot of requests to check it out. Finally did, and I do not regret it. That was a really interesting abandoned location. There was so much to see, and honestly, probably stuff I missed. As I was driving over to the cemetery, I did see some abandoned barns in the distance. Didn't really look like they were something I could get into, but there were a couple more abandoned structures on the property. So it is a big campus. I actually think there's a couple still active buildings, not entirely sure about that, but regardless, the point I'm getting at is the Laconia State School campus is massive. It is huge. First opened up in 1903 as the New Hampshire School for Feebleminded Children, operated for several decades, hitting its peak in the 1970s before closing in 1991. And this place, again, brutal, so much abuse and mistreatment. They supported eugenics, they supported horrible treatments like lobotomies and electroshock therapy, just horrendous conditions. It's not a shock this place closed down, but it is a shock it took so long to close down. And then of course we checked out the cemetery, the Laconia State School Cemetery. Fun fact, I'm actually in the town of Meredith, New Hampshire right now. Meredith is right next door to Laconia, and that's actually where the cemetery is. The cemetery is surprisingly a bit of a drive away from Laconia State School. It took me like 15 minutes to drive here. But it was still pretty cool to check out, and I'm glad I got to bring you guys along with me. You know, if you love checking out abandoned sites, urban exploration, and traveling New England, I'm always doing that on the channel, so feel free to subscribe to the channel, or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But yeah, guys, that was the Laconia State School up here in the Lakes region of New Hampshire, and if you've ever wondered why they call it the Lakes region, I wonder why. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.